What's going on, everyone, and welcome back. We are going to be checking out object placement editors. Very useful tool. I use them all the time. I need to put grass in this scene. I've got most of the objects already placed, but I need to get the grass in there so it gives it a little bit more life. So I've already got an editor folder. You always want to make sure you put all of your editors inside of your editor folder. That way you know exactly where they are. I'm not sure if editor windows need to be in the editor folder. I know custom editors do, but just for the sake of this tutorial, we'll do it that way. Alright, so I'm going to create a new C# script. And I'm going to call it, let's go placer. Something easy. Alright, yeah, I don't care. Just give me the script. Give me the script. There we go. Alright, we don't need any of this stuff. But we will be using Unity Editor. This gives us access to the editor. And we are not going to be using mono behavior. This is going to be, let's see here, it's been a little while since I've actually programmed it. Editor window? Yes. Alright. Let's get started. So let's first create the variable to hold the prefab we're going to be placing. Then second, I want, just to make it tidy, a parent transform. And that way whenever I place it in the scene, I can parent it to an object and just make it much nicer in the window. And we're also going to, these can be private. Static placer window. This is going to be the window that we're actually creating. I think we need this. Private transform. Oops, if I can spell. Transform instance. This is going to be the instance that we place in the scene. And then let's cache a few more things. I'm going to cache the raycast hit. Raycast hit. And I need to cache the ray. I like caching things. It's always good practice to cache everything that you're going to be using. You don't have to cache it immediately, only if you know exactly what you're going to be using. You don't want it to create these during runtime, because you're just going to be creating it every update or every time it uses it. So you don't want to do that. What you want to do is just cache it and then change the information as you see fit later. So let's create the menu item. Menu item window placer. You can name that whatever you want, put it wherever you want. I'm just going to put it under the window tab and just make it called placer, obviously. And the initialization function, nope, static void init. Jesus, obviously I cannot quit it. make window equal placer editor window dot get window type of placer. This is just setting the variable of the window we're creating, and then we want to show it. Ooh. Let's do a little. Let's do the GUI. The GUI. Private void on GUI. Let's create a label and U. Begin the horizontal. That way we can put a text string or a string on the left side and the object label thing on the right. So let's put the label here, prefab, and then say prefab equals GameObject editor GUI layout object field and prefab type of GameObject and true, right? Yeah, whatever. I think that's allow scene objects. Let me put that to false. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right. Alright. And then end the horizontal. I'll just copy that. Maybe. Okay. Paste it. And change this to not prefab, but parent. And it's not a game object, it is a transform. Transform. Parent. Parent. That should get our window open with a little GUI in there. Placer. Alright, there we go. So now we have the text on the side, the object field on the right side. Alright. Let's finish this bad boy. Next, we need to add the during scene GUI. It used to be called something else. Can't remember exactly what it was, but in the newest version of Unity, that's exactly what it's called. So, on the enable, private void on enable, I'm going to say scene view dot during scene GUI minus equals scene GUI. Right? No, did I do something wrong? Oh, that's why, because I haven't even created the function yet. down here and go ahead and create this function just so I don't have a big red mark. So I'm going to say scene GUI, which needs to take in scene view and scene view. There, now you don't have anything to complain about. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, except plus equals scene GUI. Now why we're doing minus equals first is just in case this has already been set, we're not just adding to it. So we're just removing the old one, putting in the new one. This is something that you always have to have, or else this function is never going to be called whenever it needs to be. Alright. Now inside of this function, we need to go if the window has been created. Need to check or cache the event at least. Event.current. Now here's the step where I always mess up on. Let's see if I can get it right first try. E.button equals 0. I need to check if alright. Event type dot mouse down. Yes. Equals e.type. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to check if, oh, I know you're correct. Don't mess with me. Oh, that's why you're not correct. Boom. Alright, now we need to mess with hot control. Hot control is a pain in the ass. Gee, what am I doing? Jesus. GUI utility dot hot control equals GUI utility dot get control ID of focus type dot passive. And that's going to set the hot control to passive. I need to check if the prefab if the prefab equals null, then just return out. We don't need to deal with this any longer if there's not even a prefab set. So then we're going to set the ray. So we're going to say ray equals handle you. Oh, come on. Come on. Handle utility dot GUI point to world ray at mouse position. So this is going to create a ray where our mouse is at. So it's going to shoot a ray from the camera at the mouse. Alright, next up is the actual raycast. So, geez, apparently I cannot type today. Raycast, there. Ray out So we're going to create array. We're going to set the hit and just a maximum distance. I don't really care how far away from the object I actually am. And we're going to set the instance. So instance equals instantiate the prefab at the hit point and quaternion dot identity like normal. And then we need to go transform because we set it to a transform. Once it's instantiated, we don't really care about the game object. We only need the transformation. So then I'm going to say if we have a parent, then I'm going to set instance.parent to parent. And then of course we need to use the event. That way that, so if we click on the screen, it's, well, I don't know. Just something I always do. I don't think it's really important on this, at least, but whatever. You can just use it anyways. Else if event type dot mouse drag. So if we're dragging the mouse, I need to set the E type and make sure we have an instance. So we're not dragging without an instance. Yeah. So if we're dragging, no, I'll just copy this. I don't even want to type that again. So same thing. Same array. And actually, I just, yeah, just copy that whole say. I am just not doing the greatest today for some reason. My mind is just all over the place. So we're going to do the same kind of raycast. So if it hits, we're just going to say instance dot position equals hit dot point. So that way we're just dragging it around. Oh my god, quit it. There. Else if we let go of the mouse button, so event type dot mouse up equals e dot type and instance. Then I'm going to say instance equals null. So that way we just get rid of that instance variable. All right, I think we are good to go. So we've got it so that if we click, it instantiates the object at where we're clicking. Then we drag the instance around. And then as soon as we release the button, then it empties that instance variable and we can just get ready for the next. And let's see how I did. Alright, placer. Get me a prefab in here. Models. I'll just drag this in here for now, just because I need to set this grass to be a prefab anyways. Oh, I did do that wrong, didn't I? Oh, it's because I set that to false. I don't want the prefab, I don't want the prefab to be from the scene, but I do want the parent to be from the scene. Alright, whenever you're doing this, you always want to use actual prefabs to place them in the scene. You don't want to use a scene object. If you use a scene object, then it's not going to reference that prefab. So if you change something in the prefab, then it's not going to change the objects that are in the scene. So it's always a smart idea to use prefabs because it's so much faster, so much easier. Alright, let's do this again. To drop a prefab on there. Drop in the parent. I'm going to click. Okay, it is not dragging. What did I do? Alright, I see what I did wrong. I messed up where this stuff is supposed to go. There. Now, it is supposed to look like this. I was doing the else if on the e.button equals 0. Well, it's always supposed to be that whenever we're doing any of the event types. And stupid me just wasn't paying attention to where the lines were. Alright. That should fix it. Oh, and make sure you drop this e.use up. So make sure it looks exactly like this. Alright, now. Hopefully it's correct. Prefab. Parent. Drag. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, and there you go. And really easy. As you can see, it is parenting them in here. So that way we can close that. And that is the end of this tutorial. We will move on to the next one whenever I record it. Alright, see you next time.